In the beginning, many heroes fought for heaven and earth. It is the legend of a deep history, the legend of another world, with heroes who are born inheriting the names of legends. We call them legend heroes. It's finally time. I've been wanting to talk about this for years, but I want to tell the story in a different way. Directly to you, like this. This is one video I'm really passionate about, so I feel like I should tell this to you face to face. Alright, so let's go back into the far-off year of 2009. Tokusatsu as a genre was evolving, Shinkenger was doing great for Sentai, Ultraman as we know it was sleeping, waiting for the next chapter, and Kamen Rider Decade... Outside of the main three, we got other beloved tokus such as Tamaka Hero Rescue Fire and Armor Hero, but waiting in the Korean shadows was a show that was ready to reveal itself to the world. A trailer for SFX Fantasy Rayforce was released, and it looked very promising. Includes some great looking suits, awesome action, and the cheesy toku special effects we all love, plus a Gundam looking mech, and you'll get nothing. With no investors interested in the project, SFX Fantasy Rayforce unfortunately got cancelled. It was just a dream that wasn't meant to be. This too is all Decade's fault. Fast forward to 2016. It was an interesting year for Tokusatsu, to say the least. Ultraman Orb was doing well, Kamen Rider Amazon Season 1 garnered a large fan base as a side project, Battle Strike Team Rescue Engine was a thing, Sentai had Ninja, and Kamen Rider Ghost. Though once again, Korea had another dream, and this time, it came true. March 2nd, 2016, Korean children were introduced to a new show, Legend Hero The Three Kingdoms. Of course, its themes and motif being based on the Chinese historical novel, Romance of the Three Kingdoms. While the time of war between the three kingdoms happened in real life, the novel used this time period and its people to tell a romanticized story, hence Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You might recognize the name, or have some loose knowledge from other adaptations, such as video games like Dynasty Warriors, or the series based on the time period with the same name. There's plenty of other media with manga and movies, either based on the people or the war itself. Adding some personal touch, Magic the Gathering has a set based on the Three Kingdoms, which you can probably guess that it's one of my favorites. There's a lot to the Romance of Three Kingdoms, and that's just historical fiction. I personally love learning about history in general, so I can't wait to talk to you about Legend Hero. But about name pronunciations. Alright, hold tight. We'll get to the show. This is just something I've been wanting to bring up in other videos, especially this one, but I'll make it quick. I originally had half a page written about the different pronunciations with Korean, Mandarin, and English names, though I'm just gonna condense it all down to, I'm mainly an English speaker, so I'm gonna pronounce names with an English dialect. Okay, this has gone on for long enough. Let's finally get into Legend Hero. In the beginning, many heroes fought for heaven and earth. You know the rest. A young man stands in the middle of a war between heroes and giant mechs. The battle comes to an end as a lone figure leaves everyone else for dead. The young man, Liu Bei, is forcibly woken up by his friend, Gong Zunzan. They live in a martial arts school, Do Won Kwang, and need to prepare for the day. Liu Bei is a bit of a klutz and Gong Zunzan is strict on him. While out doing chores, Liu Bei notices a woman in white accidentally steal clothes. He crashes and tries to play it off coolly. Man, I love him already. The woman isn't sure of what's happening since it's her first time in the human world. It turns out that she's an angel from heaven. They get their introductions out of the way, with the angel recognizing Liu Bei as a name of legend. In history, Liu Bei was the first warlord and ruler of the Shuhan state. He was renowned to be a benevolent leader. He was friends with Gong Zunzan, who eventually helped him gain more political influence, which will lead him to become emperor. In comparison to Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Liu Bei was more like your typical heroic protagonist, you know, someone to look up to, and to possibly make a tokusatsu out of. The angel is named Zuzu. She's one of many who's managing the dream battle. She hands Liu Bei a hero piece and a legend changer. He's told to keep it a secret, or else he may die. Naturally, Liu Bei is dumbfounded. Dream battle? Hero pieces? Marketable toys? Zuzu can't say anything else since she's needed in heaven, so she wishes the hero piece good luck with its new lord. Back at Dowon Kwang, Liu Bei gets beaten up by He Jin, a rival to our protagonist. Kong Zunzan patches up Liu Bei, remembering Liu Zi, their old master that went traveling abroad before choosing a successor. Liu Bei studies the hero piece that was given to him and notices a face on its backside. The hero piece stands and introduces himself as Guan Yu, a retainer to his new lord. Liu Bei thinks the hero piece is a fairy, though it seems like the two are gonna get along just fine. Feeling stronger than ever, Liu Bei challenges He Jin to a fight. Liu Bei made a contract to be Guan Yu's warlord, but now Liu Bei is regretting that decision and lets Zuzu know that he wants to cancel it. He Jin listens in behind a door and confronts Liu Bei about being a legend hero. He Jin pulls out a legend changer and a hero piece, transforming into legend hero Wang Kwang. Legend hero Wang Kwang! Regarding Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Wang Kwang worked with He Jin as they fought against another certain warlord that is in Liu Bei. Guan Yu encourages Liu Bei to transform as well. His legend changer beeps and the hero piece flies towards him. Together, they transform into legend hero Guan Yu. Legend hero Guan 출전! Arguably one of the most well-known people in the Three Kingdoms, Guan Yu was a loyal general to Liu Bei, sharing a close bond throughout the war. He's often depicted wearing green armor, having a long beard, sometimes with a red face, and using a guandao, a weapon comparable to a spear with a longer blade. He's also one of my favorite characters to play in Smite. Oh, by the way, I really love Smite, so yeah. This depiction was added to the legend hero armor, as you can see it starting with Guan Yu's beard, red stripes, and having a green color scheme. Aside from a historical motif, the suits also add some animal or mythology into the mix. Legend hero Guan Yu includes some dragon scales and faces, while Wang Kwang is an ox. I won't go over every single design we come across, since they're mostly self-explanatory and overall each look great. As a side note, I also won't bring up every hero piece either, since they were usually generals to warlords in real life. I will say that this show has some of my favorite suits ever. Legend hero Guan Yu looks gorgeous, and Wang Kwang gets the job done being intimidating but with a cool look. The first battle ends with He Jin hearing his changer beep, then escaping. Zuzu has been watching and congratulates Liu Bei, though he isn't so happy about almost dying. She explains that they're in the Dream Battle, a war that has legend heroes fight to fulfill their dream and make their wish come true. Luckily, Liu Bei doesn't have too much competition, since there are only about 100 legend heroes. Hero pieces that win alongside their warlord get to become human and live on Earth. If their contract gets cancelled or are destroyed, then the hero piece gets turned to stone. It's a bit of pressure to put on Liu Bei, although he wants to continue fighting, not to fulfill a wish, but to keep Guan Yu, his new friend. Liu Bei is excited because now he can be a superhero and help people. Guan Yu tells him that a legend hero isn't for personal use, but Liu Bei transforms anyway. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Kamen Rider Gaim did something like this too. And you're right, though this isn't the first time I'm gonna bring up Gaim. While out, Liu Bei hears children crying due to being trapped on a Ferris wheel. This was a setup by He Jin to lure Liu Bei into a fight. He Jin is about to be defeated, but he calls for a final battle. A force field surrounds the city, and time stops. Giant mechs are called for this battle, making it seem so final. Just like the suits, I love these mech designs too. They're more Sentai than anything, maybe Gundam. Real quick, I'm gonna bring up that whenever people fight, just assume that a giant mech battle goes along with it. Of course, I won't go over it, or else I'm gonna say they fight and then a final battle happens. So I'll just skip over that. Remember, just assume that most of the time they're fighting in their mechs too. Weirdly enough, the Legend Hero suits look great, very professional, but the mech suits and weapons look like a cosplayer made them with Wonderflex and cardboard. I mean, it's not bad, definitely better than anything I could ever do in my lifetime. I just think it's funny when the quality is compared to Sentai and Kamen Rider. As for the changer itself, it's basic, but I like it enough as it is. For one, it's different, it goes onto your palm like this, it doesn't go onto like your wrist or anything, and that already is a different design than past changers. And the little gimmicks, they're fun. I mean, I wish I had the posable toys of these, but oh well. This is still really fun to have. And I do have the Guan Yu legend piece, but I'm on a green screen, so I'm pretty sure this is gonna come out weird. But yeah, I love these things. After the battle, building damage is restored and time moves forward. Heejin's changer beeps, and he yells out that he doesn't want to be eliminated. Heejin witnesses Wang Kuang turn to stone. They drop to the floor, and we see Heejin's dream of wanting to be great like Master Lu Zi. But now that dream is broken, causing him to no longer be interested in martial arts and leaving Do Wang Kuang. Just like in history, Heejin was one of the first to go when the war was rising. Gong Xunzan tries to get Heejin back, but she runs into some creeps led by a man who's all over her, named Mizu. He's our next warlord as he's given the Zhang Fei hero piece. Liu Bei feels awful after destroying Heejin's dream. However, the dream battle doesn't stop over sentimentality. The two legend heroes conflict. Guan Yu asking Zhang Fei why he would choose such a dirty warlord, since Mizu is a creep and wrecked Do Wang Kuang earlier. Mizu has been dreaming of world domination. At least, that's what he says. After a final battle, Mizu's dream is revealed. He really just wanted to have many wives. Oh my gosh. With Mizu defeated, Zhang Fei starts to turn to stone. Zuzu steps in to say that it's possible for a warlord to have multiple hero pieces. However, it may come at a disadvantage. Liu Bei doesn't hesitate and accepts Zhang Fei as his vassal. At home, Liu Bei asks his hero pieces to call him something besides my lord. How about brother? No matter what happens, they'll fight in the dream battle together. This is the oath they'll take, while eating chopped peaches. In history, Liu Bei and Guan Yu were close, but that bond also included a short-tempered military general, Zhang Fei. The three of them fought together in the war through thick and thin. Romance of the Three Kingdom, of course, romanticized how close they were by creating the fictional Oath of the Peach Garden, where the three swore a brotherly oath to fight together. In the next episode, a cat-like legend hero appears. This is Hua Tuo, which probably has one of my most favorite suits in the show. It's a cat wearing medical gear. That's cute. And he has a nice motif as the historical Hua Tuo was a physician who helped other major characters such as Guan Yu. Hua Tuo was among the first to use anesthesia, and that's incorporated with how legend hero Hua Tuo fights. He uses acupuncture pins to attack and control Liu Bei. Because of that fight, Liu Bei wasn't able to put up posters for Gong Xunzan, so she's about to scold him until they see an older man in their dojo. It's Master Lu Zi, and he's here to choose a successor for Do Wang Kuang's Flying Dragon Fist. Liu Bei is able to pass Lu Zi's test by cheating with the hero pieces, though not on purpose. Gong Xunzan notices and naturally gets upset. Liu Bei tries to find her, then comes across legend hero Zhao Yun, who reveals itself to be Gong Xunzan. Her dream is to be Do Wang Kuang's successor, and she won't let Liu Bei ruin that ambition. Liu Bei is lost in thought for a moment. His best friend has a dream, but he never thought about his own. Later, Lu Zi has one last test. He tells Liu Bei that Gong Xunzan is going to become his successor, and he tells Gong Xunzan the opposite. The two start to argue, having Lu Zi break it up and say that neither of them have learned anything, so he's expelling them from the school. They have no place to stay, so Liu Bei takes Gong Xunzan to their old orphanage. They've become friends after Liu Bei tried to help her from her bullies. Wait, have they been wearing the same clothes for their entire life? Legend hero Hua Tuo comes out of nowhere and starts to attack Gong Xunzan.
Legend hero, showdown! Let's go!
Reminding Liu Bei of when some thugs started wrecking the orphanage when they were little. Then Lu Zi fought them off with the drunken fist style. That's when Liu Bei and Gong Xunzan decided to be with Lu Zi, and were given new names. The ones we know now. The ones of legends. With that flashback, Liu Bei knows what to wish for. He wants to make people happy. After fighting off Hua Tuo, Lu Zi finds them and allows them to both become co-successors. The next two episodes introduce two more characters, Guo Zi and Li Jue. They're wannabe rock and rollers who go by Flying Mosquito respectively. Since I'm bringing them up, you probably know that they're legend heroes, Fan Chou and Yang Feng.
Legend hero, Yang Bong!
Guo Zi and Li Jue served under a warlord. Once they were left to their regime, they had Fan Chou and Yang Feng under their own servitude. However, after the murder of Fan Chou, the emperor of Guo Zi's and Li Jue's province wanted to have them not be let's say as close anymore. So to drive their friendship apart, rumors were spread that Kuo-si was having an affair with Li Jue's wife. Things kept escalating from there to the point where a civil war broke out between their regimes. Well, nothing crazy like that happens on Legend Hero, but Flying Mosquito constantly bicker and even try to fight each other at times. I can't help but happily roll my eyes to them because it's unexpected, yet weirdly tokusatsu to have something as crazy as this come from a couple of comic relief characters. And since they're music-based Legend Heroes, I have a bit of a bias toward them. Lube comes across them after some shenanigans with Mizu. When a Legend Hero loses their hero piece, the user loses all memories of being in the battle, so Mizu doesn't remember wrecking Do-won Kwang or fighting Lube. They kinda became friends afterwards. I talked about how Zhang Fei, Guan Yu, and Lube were close, though Mizu was kinda part of that specifically with Lube, since in history, Mizu married Lube's sister, making them brothers-in-law. Mizu also sometimes got Lube in trouble during some campaigns. Funny how history can translate to other media. Our next big plot point comes in episode 9, the ambition of the Bear family. The police are tracking down a group of thieves wearing bear masks. One officer, Tai-O, is able to fight off a few of the thieves, then find their boss, Dong Juo, who can become Legend Hero Hua Xiong. Dong Juo escapes, then shenanigans lead to shenanigans. Mizu is in the police station for questioning since he wore a bear mask as a joke. Lube goes to get him out and runs into Tai-O, who notices Zhang Fei shuffling around his pocket. While on a walk, Lube and Gong Xunzan come across an evil strongman contest from Dong Juo. Tai-O joins their battle when another Legend Hero appears, one more terrifying and more powerful than before. This is Legend Hero Lu Bu. Those already knowledgeable in Romance of the Three Kingdoms must be internally screaming right now, but we'll get to him in a bit. Despite looking very evil, Lube thinks he's friendly. Then Lube gets knocked out by him, and wakes up to a little girl playing with Lu Bu in a random house. Definitely not evil or ominous at all. This house, as well as Lu Bu, belongs to Wang Yung, a police officer that Tai-O works with and looks up to. They agree to work together, much to Tai-O's dismay. They confront Dong Juo, but Wang Yung turns on Lube, not for evil intent, but because Dong Juo has Wang Yung's daughter captive. She's Diao-chan, the little girl that Lube saw earlier. Luckily, Tai-O was already a few steps ahead and found where Diao-chan was being held. Wang Yu is a forgiving type. Lu Bu, however, is not. Here's your first spoiler warning. I generally put warnings in the intros anyway, but it's something special that I'm stopping to give another one. We're on episode 12, so if you're already interested, then it might be a good idea to start watching on your own. Legend Hero in its entirety is subbed and in HD on YouTube directly from the company that produced it. Keep in mind that this isn't one of the biggest spoiler warnings, but I just think that it's a good checkpoint. Trust me, things will get more intense. 3, 2, 1. As a last resort, Dong Juo prepares to blow himself up, but it was a trick to steal Tai-O's gun and shoot Wang Yung. Tai-O freezes, flashing back to when he got saved by Wang Yung a long time ago. Dong Juo is apprehended by nearby officers, but Wang Yu is declared dead. Tai-O quits the force, and Liu Bei is left feeling guilty. The saddest part being Diao-chan's ignorance of the situation. All her short life, she's been wanting to spend more time with her father, and constantly asks when he'll stay home, but now, he no longer can. Tai-O took the Huangzhong hero piece captive before Dong Juo was taken in, so Tai-O interrogates him on how to become a legend hero. All that's needed is a name of legend. From now on, Tai-O will go by Cao Cao, named after the phoenix that rids of all evil. Cao Cao, filled with rage, breaks Dong Juo out of prison just to fight him. If Three Kingdom enthusiasts weren't internally screaming with Lu Bu, then Cao Cao and Dong Juo should do it. To start, Dong Juo is a big part of the Three Kingdoms, almost quite literally as he was a big guy. After He Jin died, Dong Juo was tasked to look over the emperor, until he basically said, "China is mine now." Those who opposed him included Wang Yung. In the fictional history, Diao-chan was a lady who Wang Yung looked after, and Lu Bu was kind of like Dong Juo's right-hand man. Wang Yung planned for a conflict between the three of them, and it worked, ending with Lu Bu betraying Dong Zhuo. If you couldn't tell, I love how Legend Hero worked around this event, and it's not even the last of it. I'm sure by now you might be wondering who the main figures are for each of the three kingdoms. Since you're smart, you might have pieced together that one is Liu Bei, and the other is, of course, Cao Cao. I think it would have been funny if there was already a Cao Cao in the dream battle, so Taiyo had to choose a different name, but anyway. Cao Cao was portrayed as strict, but cunning, much like in Legend Hero. Oh yeah, we should get back to that. Dong Zhuo transforms for the battle, and so does Cao Cao, who becomes Legend Hero How Done.
Legend Hero How Done.
That's not all. Cao Cao has another hero piece, How Yuan.
Legend Hero How Yuan.
Dong Zhuo is left dangling on a bridge. Liu Bei yells at them to stop. This isn't what Wang Yu would have wanted, but Cao Cao shoots anyway. Our next major event comes when we see a man carrying several signs. He's Sun Ce, the tiger of Guangdong, and he's defeating dojos who take their signs, which used to be a real thing like decades ago, so it's weird to see it happening now. Sun Ce takes on Liu Bei and Gong Sun-san. Then Sun Ce's hero piece shows itself. Now we got Legend Hero Taishi C.
Legend Hero 태사자!
And he's proving powerful enough to defeat both of them. Liu Bei and Gong Sun-san go to the nearby Guangdong dojo for a rematch, and more importantly to take their sign back. Sun Ce is almost defeated in this rematch, until he reveals he has two more hero pieces, Gan Ning and Huang Gai. They're about to continue fighting until Sun Ce's sister, Shang Jiang, steps in and tells him to go back home. After some shenanigans with Flying Mosquito, Sun Ce agrees to be Liu Bei's ally so he'll be around more often. Meanwhile, in heaven, angels gather around a man-made piece. It creates Tao soldiers, the mooks of the show, which look kinda cool by the way. Though it shouldn't be possible to have them in the first place. One of the angels says that they need to move up the rainbow event. Liu Bei, Mizu, and Sun Ce are goofing around at Dowenquang when Shang Jian tells them that a pop idol named Lina is searching for a bodyguard. Being famous, everyone including Liu Bei and Sun Ce are basically head over heels for Lina. Liu Bei and Gong Sun-san get the job, but Lina is the typical stuck-up pop star. Then a legend hero appears. Gong Sun-san tries to warn Liu Bei and the others, then she gets fired and Liu Bei isn't being attentive. Lina reveals herself to be legend hero Yang Liang.
레전드 히어로 알려! 화나지 말라고?
Liu Bei's hero piece got locked up before the concert, meaning he can't transform. Luckily, Sun Ce just so happens to be in the audience and fights. Lina goes for a finishing blow to Liu Bei, but Gong Sun-san takes the hit for him, having her dream of becoming the next master of Dowenquang broken. Gong Sun-san gives Zhao Yong to Liu Bei. To make things worse, legend hero Lu Bu has appeared, but Wang Yung is supposed to be dead. After everything is over, Gong Sun-san says goodbye to Liu Bei and Dowenquang. With her dream gone, she decides to go somewhere else in the world. Liu Bei stuffs himself in his room for a whole week, so Zuzu tries to cheer him up with some of her own cooking. Liu Bei's changer begins to beep. It flashes a bright light and a scroll with a key appears for the rainbow event. If a warlord has two or more hero pieces, then they can choose an angel to help them for the rest of the dream battle. However, they must first pass a test. Liu Bei goes to a forest in heaven and is introduced to the seer of the dream battle. She exposits about how the dream battle was created to find the strongest dream in order to power up the royal seal, a power source which energizes heaven and earth. Liu Bei is given some options to be his partnered angel, but he chooses Zuzu. Unfortunately, she's the lowest ranked angel and doesn't think she's good enough. Tower troopers swarm the forest and Liu Bei protects her, saying that he doesn't care if she's the weakest. He doesn't even want her power, he just wants her to be with him. After fighting off the troopers, Zuzu pledges her allegiance to Liu Bei, though it seems that Sun Ce and Cao Cao also have received angels. Here's your second checkpoint. We're about halfway through the show, so again, now would be a good time to start watching if you're still interested. Though this is gonna be my biggest warning, what's about to happen is something I can compare to one of Kamen Rider Gaim's biggest moments. Yeah, that important. Though if you want to continue on, whether you watched it or not, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Suzu and Liu Bei have been fighting together for the last few episodes, acting like they're best friends. There's no romance. They're friends, just like how Liu Bei always wanted. Episode 23 and 24 are touching episodes. They both figure out what legend hero has been setting off fireworks from a factory. It's where Suzu learns more about Earth and how she learned what a family is. The legend hero is Huang Zhang.
유실일체 레전드 히어로 황충 등장.
And it's the son of the factory's president. They find out that the person who's using Lu Bu is Dong Zhuo. Liu Bei fights him off, and the father-son duo reunite. They buried sentimental items in a box, so Suzu suggests that she and Liu Bei do the same, though she wants Liu Bei to open it once the dream battle is over. They're both invited to have lunch with the president, but they find that Dong Zhuo has taken out the president and his son. Liu Bei receives the Huangzhong hero piece, but now it might be too late, as Dong Zhuo almost destroys Liu Bei's changer. Suzu stands in front of Liu Bei to protect him, in turn giving up her power as a sacrifice, and begins to fade, all to protect her family.
사랑을 고마웠어요.
Suzu has been here since the beginning, popping up a lot more than other characters. In Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Suzu was an advisor to Liu Bei, and they had a bit of a bond too. Even when in service to another warlord, Suzu had at least some loyalty to Liu Bei. The thing is, I had no idea about any of this while watching Legend Hero. I thought Suzu would stay by Liu Bei's side up to the final episode, but that's it. The happy-go-lucky girl who just wanted a family is now dead. This is the moment that hit me almost as hard as Kamen Rider Gaim's twist. I won't spoil that here, of course, but man, I don't know. I've seen major characters die in other toku, but this feels different. Maybe it's how much more sentimental her scenes felt. Now that she is gone, Liu Bei goes all out, transforming with each of his hero pieces. Guan Yu, Zhang Fei,
레전드 히어로 장비
Zhao Yun,
레전드 히어로 존
and now Huang Zhang.
레전드 히어로 황충.
The fight continues at night, where Cao Cao and his angel, Sama Yi, joins in. Since Lu Bu is physically part of Dong Zhuo, if Lu Bu is turned to stone, then its user will die. But Cao Cao doesn't care. He brings up how Liu Bei wasn't able to save Suzu. Then Cao Cao shoots Lu Bu, killing off Dong Zhuo. Liu Bei is left on the ground, holding out his hand towards an image of Suzu. Well, on Sunzei's side, he's watching a boxing match. Then a new legend hero, Ma Cho, interrupts it. Sunzei goes to Dongwon Quan to ask Liu Bei for help, but he's in a bit of a rut. Liu Bei lays in bed and notices a letter from Suzu. She's saying goodbye and that he should be happy. Plus, she has a gift. The historical fiction Suzu told Liu Bei to recruit a new advisor, one named Zhuge Liang, so now this Suzu is telling him the same. Liu Bei goes to the Heaven Forest, but Zhuge Liang isn't cooperative. Why would he be? His best friend just died. He's shown Suzu's letter and makes a decision. He'll be Liu Bei's partner if he can get the macho hero piece, so off Liu Bei goes. One thing leads to another and Liu Bei is almost defeated. However, the legend hero hesitates and escapes. Macho's user visits Liu Bei at Dongwon Kwang, and Liu Bei almost immediately recognizes who he is, Liu Zhang, his long-lost brother. How they got separated and Liu Zhang's backstory is heartbreaking, so I'll just let you find it out for yourself. Despite being brothers, the dream battle must continue, so they fight, but now Liu Bei is the hesitant one. Throughout the last handful of episodes, we've been given glimpses of who some call an evil angel, Zhang Jue. He created the Tao Troopers and has been trying to interrupt the dream battle. Zhuge Liang watches as the brothers fight, not accepting Liu Bei since he doesn't have the macho piece. Hearing this, Liu Zhang willingly smashes his own changer and gives macho to Liu Bei.
통신일체 레전드 히어로 마초.
Liu Zhang will lose his memories, but at least he'll have a brother. After fighting Zhang Jue's troopers and giant mech, Zhuge Liang bends a knee and officially pledges to be Liu Bei's angel. With Liu Zhang's memories gone, Liu Bei says goodbye to his brother. The next episode showcases how strict Zhuge Liang can be. He really is acting as an advisor and knows what's best. Having 2 hero pieces can be draining, let alone the 5 that Liu Bei now has. So Zhuge Liang is able to keep up with his transformations in battle. Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang fight Cao Cao and Sima Yi, which leads to Zhuge Liang showing off the most powerful magic an angel knows, transforming into a bracelet apparently. Oh, just like the mech battles, whenever I say there's a fight, you can usually assume that their angels are fighting alongside their warlords too. Zhuge Liang isn't entirely a stick in the mud, since later he gets sentimental after seeing a garden Zuzu left behind, and a small sprout from it. We start to reach the final stretch a few episodes later. Zhang Jue dances happily as a storm approaches. The Royal Seal's power has reached its limit, so the dream battle must end soon. Our 3 remaining warlords gather, Cao Cao, Sun Ce, and Liu Bei. But things have gotten worse as previous legend heroes have started appearing. They don't have the same hosts and are seen without changers, plus the hero pieces within them are the originals, just turned to stone. Sima Yi calls them Dark Warlords who were created by Zhang Jue. Our heroes confront him, but Zhang Jue has one last trick up his sleeve, a revived Lu Bu. Dao Chan was kidnapped so that Lu Bu had no choice in fighting for Zhang Jue. The remaining Dark Warlords are combined with Lu Bu to create this really cool form called Heavenly Lu Bu. Our heroes don't have much power left from all this fighting, leaving Liu Bei about to be finished off, until Liu Bei's hero pieces use all their strength to protect him. Then, a golden hawk dragon flies from the sky. I can't believe I just said that. With the bonds of friendship ever growing between warlord and vassal, Liu Bei gains a new form, Legend Hero Imperial. Now that's a final form fit for an emperor. Liu Bei snaps Lu Bu out of it after saving Diao Chan. Lu Bu can finally rest in peace, and the dream battle may continue. At his hideout, Zhang Due thinks of a new plan, then he gets shot by Cao Cao's angel. This halt in the dream battle was Zhang Jue's doing without consulting Sima Yi first, meaning that Sima Yi worked behind the scenes without Cao Cao's knowledge to create the Tao Troopers and the Dark Warlords. Now he no longer needs Zhang Jue, and kills him. Cao Cao gets angered that Liu Bei has gotten stronger and is being left behind. Sima Yi shows Cao Cao an evil power. He's hesitant. Liu Bei and Sun Ce fight off some Dark Warlords. Sima Yi makes his move, declaring himself the villain, and Cao Cao steps out, this time with a powerful new form, Legend Hero Kaiser.
Legend Hero Kaiser!
Sun Ce and the combined might of Legend Hero Imperial can't stand up to Cao Cao. To make matters worse, Sun Ce's health has been deteriorating for a while now, and it seems like time is almost up. He's taken to the hospital. With the last few breaths he has, Sun Ce tells Liu Bei about his brother, who's also been around since Sun Ce's debut, though none of us, nor Liu Bei, know him by name. It appears he's just some distant, stuck-up kid that wants nothing to do with martial arts. That is until he gets involved with the hero pieces and the Dark Warlords. Liu Bei tells him about Sun Ce's hospitalization, so he runs over. Sun Ce's dream is for a certain person to take over the family business once he's gone. That person being his little brother, Sun Quan. Now we have our third major warlord from the Three Kingdoms. Sun Ce played a part in certain campaigns leading up to him stepping down, however, that Sun Ce passed the mantle down to his little brother, Sun Quan, who will now play a big part in the war. With our warlords together, we now reach a historical event, the Battle of Red Cliffs. Liu Bei and Sun Quan had a victory over Cao Cao's forces, pushing back his regime. In parallel, Legend Hero has Liu Bei and a transformed Sun Quan take on Cao Cao. Except this Red Cliffs is a martial arts tournament because of course it is. After that victory, Liu Bei takes some time to relax and even play a couple pranks on Zhuge Liang. Their hero pieces might turn to humans. Cao Cao is seemingly back to normal. Sun Ce got his dream fulfilled, and Liu Bei will be able to open Zuzu's box soon. Even flying mosquitoes seem pretty satisfied with themselves. As for the winner's angel, they get to look after the Royal Seal until the next dream battle. Zhuge Liang searches through Zhang Jue's old base, and finds a blueprint for a different kind of Royal Seal. Meanwhile, Sima Yi has one final plan. Cao Cao is handed an angel piece. To activate it, Sima Yi must sacrifice himself. Cao Cao doesn't hesitate in accepting the consequences. They combine together and become super duper evil. What Sima Yi doesn't state is that he's the one who's going to take over Cao Cao's body. Together they become the great warlord Sima Yan, the legend hero from the show's opening premonition, the one destined to win the dream battle. Liu Bei is almost killed. The only thing holding him back from death is his own will to push forward. And cheap paint. Mizu and his gang sacrifice themselves to grab an empty angel piece hanging off of Sima Yi's belt. Zhuge Liang looks at Zuzu's garden one last time. He breaks the news to Liu Bei. They can combine like how Sima Yi and Cao Cao did, but that would mean Liu Bei himself would be gone. His hero pieces would rather die than lose Liu Bei, though he's already made his decision. Zhuge Liang uses magic on the empty angel piece. Then Liu Bei wakes up, still as Liu Bei as ever. Zhuge Liang left a letter for him. Earlier in Zuzu's garden, Zhuge Liang opened up her box. Inside was some moldy sausages, pictures of Liu Bei, and a drawing of her family. Mizu, Gongsun-san, Liu Bei, Zuzu, and Zhuge Liang. Liu Bei makes his last stand against Sima Yi. The last episode, final battle. Liu Bei snaps Cao Cao out of it, destroying the angel piece and separating Sima Yi from Cao Cao's body. Sun Quan, Cao Cao, and Liu Bei defeat Sima Yi, making him fade away into the darkness. However, the true final battle begins with a royal seal. Unfortunately, we don't get to see it. Only the aftermath of Liu Bei looking up upon the royal seal and having Zhuge Liang return. Liu Bei's wish is for everyone to be happy, but that's impossible. Liu Bei's more attainable wish is for the dream battle to end. The blueprint that Zhuge Liang found earlier can be remade into a new royal seal, one that can generate energy from smaller wishes. It's time to say goodbye. Zhuge Liang wishes farewell to his family, Liu Bei, and his hero pieces. A few months pass. Liu Bei and Mizu train children at Doan Quang. Master Lu Zi and Gongsun-san return. Cao Cao, Sun Se, and Sun Quang are here too, though without their memories of the dream battle. They all enjoy dinner together, but Liu Bei is saddened that he is the only one who remembers. That is, until Liu Bei's old hero pieces say hello, reborn as humans. In heaven, Zhuge Liang watches over everyone's wishes, including Liu Bei, who still wants everyone to be happy. Thank you. Yes, you, the one watching. Thank you so much for everything. So, we did it. We finally made it through Legend Hero, my favorite show of all time, even beyond Tokusatsu. Wanna know the weird thing about this already long video? I can keep going, because I didn't even mention remotely close to everything. Yeah, with this smile on my face while writing this script at 3 in the morning, I can say that I can talk about almost every episode extensively, including the episode I skipped over in the recap. Of course, I won't, since I always say that I like to keep some things out on purpose to surprise you in case you do decide to watch the show on your own. I do want to go over a concern before anything else though. A personal worry I have about these videos is that people might substitute these history of retrospectives for watching the real show. Please don't do that. Despite the length and review segments, there's still plenty to see on your own, since I like to make these as big bullet points with some personal thoughts thrown into them. I often bring up the biggest points with a warning just in case for that reason. As much as I can talk about Legend Hero, please keep in mind that I highly encourage you guys to watch these shows on your own to gather your own opinions. Heck, I mentioned before that Legend Hero in its entirety is on YouTube and subbed by its own company that produced it. The subs are alright, barring a few spelling errors here and there, but hey, it's free and not intrusive like certain subgroups. I also really quickly want to bring up that obviously this is going to be a positive review, probably the most positive I've ever been. Despite that, there's bound to be people who don't enjoy the show as much as I do. Remember I said that you should watch to form your own opinion. That goes doubly so if you don't agree with me. That's completely okay. I just wanted to put out there, since I know please watch Legend Hero is something I say as a meme, so it's gonna have its critics somewhere. Again. Give the show a try and see if you enjoy it. If you do, then I'm there for you. If you don't, then hey, it's not for you, and that's understandable. We good? Okay. Alright, so, why do I love Legend Hero so much? There's a simple, easy answer. I just do. The long answer is the rest of this segment. To get the negatives out of the way, I didn't like episode 37 and 38, but it's filler so it can be skipped over. I wish the hero pieces talked more? Okay, that's everything. On to the positives, as in the rest of the video. For one, the visuals and cinematography are gorgeous. There's not a single suit I dislike. In fact, I think each one is beautiful and memorable, from the bulky suit of Wang Kuang to the weird suit of Pong Feng. Oh, who's Pong Feng? Watch and find out. Legend Hero airing in the modern day with high definition helps in its favor. I love seeing the details like scratches on the visor or marks on the shining armor. Stuff like that is beautiful to me. Not to mention the cinematography. I don't bring up stuff like camera work since it's generally the same across the board of Sentai and Kamen Rider. There are a few exceptions, one of them being Legend Hero. The first battle with Wang Kuang is a masterpiece in itself. The way the camera follows the action, then zooms into Guan Yu's helmet, only to follow up with a medium shot for the finishing attack. Man, I love that. And it's just one battle. There was another fight late into the show where a camera is put onto Sensei's weapon to make it look first person, and it lasts quite a bit. That was cool. Even outside the action, there are some beautiful moments made even better with how it's shot. Earlier when I said not to take this as a substitute, I was mostly thinking about the episodes I didn't bring up and the characters themselves. On the surface, in the summary, Liu Bei seems like your typical protagonist, probably because that's how Liu Bei was in Romance of the Three Kingdoms. But Legend Hero's Liu Bei is fantastic. He has a fun and happy demeanor on the outside, though he's just as vulnerable as a normal person would be in the dream battle. He lost Gongsun-san when she left Do Won Kwang, and he lost Suzu permanently. Would you be surprised if I said that those aren't the only people gone from his life throughout the course of the show? And I thought Kota from Gaim had it rough. Liu Bei just keeps getting kicked while he's down, and yet he still wishes for people to be happy. I have that same dream. Ever since I was little, I've wanted to make people happy, and I feel like I do that simply by entertaining others with these videos. When I watched Legend Hero for the first time, I was already connected to Liu Bei from episode 1, but when he said what his dream was, I felt that in my heart. Some Toku heroes are larger than life, able to take on the world. Others are simply humans with their hearts in the right places. Liu Bei is human. He locked himself in his room after Zuzu died. He cracked jokes to cheer up his friends even if he was down. He thought of plans to impress Gongsun-san, though some went completely wrong. In the end, Liu Bei is someone who just wants to make people happy. And he's my favorite Toku hero of all time, right next to Kagami from Kabuto. Moving on. Our next two main warlords can be just as deep, despite not seeming like much. Cao Cao does things in his own way, which was looked down upon with the police, but if it worked, then hey, it worked. Until it didn't when Wang Yung died. Cao Cao's connection and backstory with Wang Yung, much like other things in the show, is quite sad, though hopeful. After Wang Yung passed away, Cao Cao really wanted to push himself to not have something like this happen again. In a way, his motivation was to keep Diao-chan happy, just like Liu Bei's dream. Cao Cao wants power, and was level-headed about it at first, then once Liu Bei gained Imperial, Cao Cao knew that he needed more, and this time by any means necessary. I think it was a natural progression, especially after some episodes of character development. Can I also just say how awesome his hero pieces sound? Legend Hero Howdun. Love it. If there's anyone I didn't do justice in the recap, it's Sensei. I love this man. Liu Bei at least knew when to be serious and get work done, but Sensei just wanted to practice martial arts and not sit around filing papers and gongdong. Though Sensei has his heart in the right place like his friends, caring purely for his training and his family. Oh man, Sensei is probably the one I want to talk about the most, but again, I'm holding things back for you to find out in the show. I'm most likely not gonna make a video to let my thoughts run free for stuff like this, so I'll just say that Sensei, the Tiger of Gongdong, is just as great as character as Liu Bei. those were just the 3 main warlords. I can go on and on about side characters like Gong Zunzan, Mizu, Lu Zi, Suzu, Zhuge Liang, who's another one of my favorites, Shang Jiang, Sun Quan, heck, even Flying Mosquito have great personalities. I barely brought up a couple of those characters I listed, but in the show they have so much to them. Shang Jiang especially gets some great moments. Flying Mosquito has some funny episodes. Mizu, oh man, Mizu is hilarious. I didn't even bring up other legend heroes like Pang Fang, and I only glossed over Huang Zhang. Lena's story wasn't done until a later arc, and that has one of my favorite episodes. Sun Se has an angel, and she almost gets as much screen time as the others. Remember Hua Tuo? Who's his user? Watch and find out. And yet, there are still more characters I didn't bring up at all. Even their stories and personalities are great. You see what I mean when I said I can keep talking about Legend Hero? All this, and I'm barely getting to the story. Like, come on. The characters are already great, but the story built on and around them makes the show even better. I'm not talking about how Legend Hero may seem like it's just a cut and paste with superheroes from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Not at all. I'm saying that Legend Hero working with that fiction and finding ways to change it up is, dare I say, genius. The Three Kingdoms were merely an outline. Legend Hero worked on its own from there. I only had passing knowledge about the Three Kingdoms before I watched Legend Hero, but as I did my research, my mind was blown. Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei were that close during the war. Guan Yu met how many historical figures? Dao Chan had that much of an impact with Lu Bu? Dong Zhuo was insane in more ways than one? Again, I didn't go over every character or historical connection, so there's a lot more to figure out. Even for me. This is one of the few shows where I feel that 50 episodes is just the right amount. The story ends when it needs to, and the characters progress how they should. I wouldn't mind a continuation of Legend Hero no matter how the story is, but I think this is perfect just the way it is. And that's not nearly the end of it. The details of the details are just as good to me as everything else I talked about, and I still didn't bring up everything I wanted to. The transformation phrase isn't as simple as legend change, it's Gunshi Iche, which can translate to Lord and Vassal combined as one, which has implications that has to do with Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Like, that's a lot deeper than I expected from a phrase. The show can be as funny as Ryu Kendo, and it makes self-aware humor for itself and Tokusatsu as a whole. There's a strong continuity for even the backgrounds. Did I bring up the importance of the weather and calendar dates in the show yet? I'm not even joking about that. Okay. I need to stop somewhere. Final thoughts before I make this video 3 hours long. As if I can't say it enough. I love this show. The characters are among the best. The story is fantastic, and the visuals are beautiful. This show is beautiful. I love Legend Hero: The Three Kingdoms, as it's my favorite show of all time.